it's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my all-new review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. We did not get an episode last week because it was Memorial Weekend, so we're starting off where we left off, which was Sheree showing receipts of Dennis and Ralph in a picture from Anthony that he has more information coming soon, and that Ralph was gay. Shocked by this information that Anthony said all this, Drew said in this moment that Sheree was being messy. Now everybody was like, how? She didn't repeat to everybody what Anthony sent to you. You're not getting the picture, Drew. Literally. The fact that Sheree had evidence of Anthony telling her about your husband should let you know who is the common culprit. That's him. And Sonya says, you did not hear what she said. Anthony said it, so I feel like your anger was misdirected. And obviously, Anthony's telling Drew about Sheree, and it's being vice versa. But Drew cannot play it in her mind that this is the main problem. Your assistant is crossing lines. Your assistant is not being a good assistant. He is now taking his job and being funny with it. He's already moving around left and right to get in where he fits in to be on reality TV, and he's already making a splash, and this is 5 episodes in. So at this point, you need to cut all ties. If this man's supposed to be representing your brand and your business, he's not going to do you any good for people want to work with you if you got a messy assistant who is telling other people your business. So basically, even if what Anthony told Sheree wasn't true, he's still being messy. And she admits it, and she agrees and said that's correct. And then Sonya wants to say, I really want to write it out with Drew because if you're my friend, I'll be there for you. I'll hold you down. But she's still side-eyeing Drew for the things that she's done, and she can't rock with it. I feel like, Sonya, I'm confused. I'm confused as you're looking at this situation to just solidify your reason to distance yourself from not being friends with Drew because of this. Now, granted, did Drew become messy when it came down to the situation and she did not handle it the way it was supposed to be handled in the beginning? Absolutely. But I feel like you're being too involved in your feelings for this to be an issue. Because I'm still stuck on why this is such a bother to you. It's just not sitting with me. I got so confused by Sonya's behavior this episode, and I'm gonna explain more later in the video in the review. So everybody's pretty much looking at Drew and said, "Listen, can you admit that you were wrong the way you handled it? Now, Drew, you need to know how to apologize because you said if." You said, if I apologize that you felt that I misstepped and gave that information, I am sorry. And she also said, I'm sorry if you felt that I was putting my finger in your face. No, Drew, no. No need to say if. If implies the fact that you don't feel you did anything wrong, but you did. You spread information about Sheree that once you found out you should have went to her and you didn't. And you did put your finger in Sheree's face. But I'm going to also say that Sheree, I think this is your get back from being in other people's mess, starting shit, and now you don't like when it's said about you because the one thing that you're not doing is denying what Anthony said isn't true. You just don't like the fact that your name is being spread across other people's mouths about something about you and you don't like it, but you done it to other people. So she accepts her apology and they high five. And that was done. And basically Sheree is now looking at Candy about why was my name spread across from everybody when you're my friend. You know me more than anybody here, and you decided to spread my information to everybody else except me. And Candy said, yeah, that's true. I did it, and I apologize. I don't know what else you want me to say. Now, I feel like Sheree, it's bothering me how much you want Candy to be accountable for how she spread the information when you don't give the same courtesy to other people when you spread their information. Like I said before, I don't understand how Sheree can be upset about other people spreading rumors about her when she does the same thing. Now, I get it. Did Candy say it to everybody else besides you? Yes, but it wasn't Candy's responsibility to tell Sheree. It was Drew's responsibility. But Candy said it and said, yeah, I did it. I owned it. What more do you want from me? And I love the fact that Candy said yes. So. But they want pretty much Drew to see that's how you take accountability. You did something, say you did it. Okay, and we can move on from there. And Sheree feels like her apology is sincere. I said, Sheree, you're not about to make this to a situation because you are already creating a situation between you and Candy when you insinuated something was going on in her marriage. Last episode. So I'm watching you, okay? And she felt like Candy did not think about her feelings or consider how she would feel. Sheree, you don't do the same things to other people. I'm going to move on. So Kenya received a text message from Mark basically telling her that she needs to come get Brooklyn because he has to go to work. So she's upset. She walks off from the table and goes to a corner. Marlo and Candy follow her. And she said, you haven't seen your child in 3 months. This time I'm in New York. I bring her to you. And all I want is you to bring back at a certain time. But now you say I have to go to work. So I have to now cross the bridge, pick her up, and bring her back here. You haven't seen your child in all this time. The one time I'm in your neck of the woods, it's a bother and a hindrance of you to see your child. I can't do this with him. And she says, I've been going through this shit for 4 fucking years. And I'm tired of it. He makes it seem as if I am such an inconvenience for him when I am trying to do my best to keep his child in his life. So Candy says, sometimes you got to pull back. Just pull back. Don't reach out to him. Let him reach out to you. But she doesn't want to do that because she wants her daughter to have a bond with her father. Because she said fathers can instill self-esteem in their daughters. And I want them to have a great relationship. I want Brooklyn to know that her father loves her. I completely understand where you're coming from, Kenya. I do. My mother was in that same situation when it came down to me and my father. My other side of the family wanted my mother to push me to my father's face for him to realize that he has a child. But my mom said he knows she exists. He knows where she lives. All he has to do is man up and take responsibility. I'm not about to make his life easy for him to bring his child to him when he knows what he needs to do. So right now, Kenya, just do what you need to do. Because if Mark is not putting the effort to show up as a father, then all you got to do is be the best mother you can be. Can nobody else tell you you're not being the best mother? Versus in how we can tell Mark is an ain't shit ass father. Pretty much. And Marlo gave Kenya great advice about don't let this ruin your night. Don't let him take your energy. Just keep it moving, okay? We'll handle this later. I love the fact that Marlo came to Kenya and gave her that advice and gave her that reassurance because I know this is tiring for Kenya. I know it is. And Mark is an asshole. A complete asshole. So we're talking about what's going on with the play, and is Tyrone coming? Sheree said yes, he submitted a request to come out, and of course he has to make sure it's within protocols of his probation because since he's on house arrest, he cannot travel no more than 100 miles, and he has to be by the house by 9 p.m. So obviously the night is still going off good, but Marlo wanted to bring up the vibrating panties to Candy and how, listen girl, I understand how you are in your bedroom, but you're gonna have to slow down with the vibrating panties, girl, because I don't think that it's a good idea for us to be walking around with stuff up our coochie. Okay, now Candy thought it would be fun. All right, it'll be fun. Now of course Marlon said, you want to be fun, have sex with your husband, that'd be fun. Okay, but Candy said, Marlo, you need to loosen up for real. It's not that serious. Then of course she keeps talking about how you need to do this and do that. And her and Ty were like, you see how she coming from me? Yeah, she coming from you. And it's kind of like, girl, you used to your coochie buzzing. Why are you worried about why? And they're bringing up the conversation that they had in the beginning of the season, how Todd and Kenny don't have as much sex. So she said, listen, just start fucking your husband. Just do that. Don't tell us what we need to do. Just go have sex with your husband. Okay, well, how about you start fucking? How about that? Don't come at me with this. And then Marlo wants to say she gives great advice about how to keep a marriage, and then she'll start charging people for her advice. I'm like, Marlo, good night. Now, the whole thing with the vibrating panty situation, Candy thought it would be fun because we got married couples on the trip, and we know they're going to have sex while on this trip, and then just entice them about bedroom candy. You know, I get promotion, and y'all get some loving. So there it is, win-win for me. So then we see day 2. Everybody's preparing for their day. Candy is meeting up with executives about the play. Todd is going to the gym. Sonya's meeting up with Kenya. And Kenya's in a room with Brooklyn. And Brooklyn had a good time with her father from the small amount of time they had. They had ice cream. That's all that matters. So ticket sales were going great for Candy. We got people coming from Atlanta and Texas coming to the play. So that's really, really good. They were worried about, is the play going to be a success, and will people buy the tickets? And they have. So ticket sales have increased. That's really, really good. So then Sonya and Ken, they took a walk around New York, and Sonya and her husband lived in New York for 7 years because her husband was a football player for the New York Giants. And Ken didn't even know what her husband did. Yes, he's a two-time Super Bowl champion. And since she is an Olympic medalist and her husband is a retired football player, they're like a power sports couple. So then to talk about last night, Sonya does not know much about what happened with Mark, but wanted to know, is everything okay? She said, yes, I'm just tired of him making it seem as if it's my fault for everything. I am doing my best to make sure you see your child without any problems. And when you come see her, you make it a problem for me. Like, I'm the one that's not keeping up with what I'm doing. Like this whole gaslighting thing. Making it seem as if what I'm saying is not what I'm saying, and what I told you is not what I told you. Making me look crazy, okay? And then she brought up how the situation with Drew, when it came down to her husband, and Kenya feels really bad. And she feels bad about going in on Ralph and thought that, was I too harsh about how I did it? And Sonya said, I mean, if it was my husband, I would have had an issue. But I don't think that Kenya was wrong in how she addressed Ralph, because he needed to be told how he was coming off. Now, she might have felt like I was triggered based off what he was saying because it reminded me of my ex-husband. And I can understand how Drew was feeling. So maybe I need to go ahead and just apologize to him. Because it's the whole gaslighting thing. Because he made her feel like she was making up shit. And I don't like that. Now, while Kenya's giving Ralph the reason why he did what he did, pretty much, this is why I read your ass. Because you deserved it. Sonya says, okay, I hear you. Ralph got what he deserved. But Drew needs to take accountability. Because I feel like there's some things that she's done as questionable, and they are developing a friendship. They are connected to a lot of things. But the way that she handled her and Sheree made her feel uncomfortable. And how it was wrong about how the way it did it. Then, of course, she thought about the time when Sonya and Candy were at Drew's house to try out her fitness meals. And she just feels like, is she's giving me all of her? Is she being real with me? And Kenya said, I mean, I can understand that, because how you have a weight loss program when you had surgery? That don't make no sense. Now, when it came down to Sonya talking about how she feels like Drew is moving questionable because of how she acted with Sheree, I just feel like, Sonya, you are really trying to create a problem with Drew, only because you're now seeing that Drew is not the fan favorite. She's not a likable person right now. So you want to eliminate from being connected with her based off of what? One incident with somebody that you don't even know? You don't even know Sheree like that. So why would you want to now make an issue with, I don't know if I want to be friends with her. I don't know if I can move forward with being friends with her. It's just not sitting with me. And then, of course, we're getting to how Drew really doesn't answer questions directly. Because, first of all, you got a weight loss program, but you went and had surgery. I need understanding from that. And then, of course, Ralph and Drew have a weird relationship. Because I can never get a full understanding of what it is that they're doing from both of them. Because she said, with Drew, you get classic Drew. She'll overtalk you. She'll play dumb. Like you don't know what she's saying. You don't know what is going on. She'll go into that actor mode. Like, what's going on here? I can't get straight answers. So I feel like Sonya is really trying to develop a problem with Drew based off of what she witnessed. Kenya's being the middleman because she still likes Drew and she's still getting to know Drew. And of course, the whole thing about Sheree, just own your part. Admit that you were being messy, and now you need to just own up to it. So, Sheree calls Candy and tells her what's been going on about Tyrone and how he made a request, but apparently he was rewarded the request. The request was approved, but the fact that he is allowed for a certain amount of miles from New York to Philadelphia or Philadelphia to New York, he has to be within 100 miles. So he was at the cusp of 100 miles, 94.4 miles, and he didn't want to chance it. So he's not going to be able to make the play, but I think she's going to go out there and meet him. Now, of course, Candy feel like, so you are within the mile radius of you coming out here, but you don't want to come out here. She said, I'm thinking at your other woman's house. That's what I'm thinking. So they go to dinner before getting ready for the play, and Marlo talks about how she loves styling other people. She has style for TV. She wants to go into film. And then we find out that Marlo had a little bit of a fling with Jazzy Faye once upon a time. And it shows a flashback when Marlo met up with Candy at her photo shoot and Jazzy Faye was coming to the studio because they shared the studio. I'm like, you used to be with Jazzy Faye back in the day, Marlo? For real? I was like, oh, okay. She said they weren't anything serious and he had a girlfriend at the time and she wasn't trying to be a side piece. I said, okay, Marlo. So Kenya asked the question of who has met a famous person that hit on them? What was the most famous person that ever hit on you? Candy said, I mean, I was in a whole relationship with Gerald Levert. We all know about that. And turn to find out they did a whole song, but she never recorded it. I want you to record that song, Candy. Record it so I can hear it. Drew, she talks about the king of the NBA. Once upon a time, not long ago, he flew her out, gave her a drink, listened to her music, took her to his games. I'm like, are you talking about the remaining king of the NBAs? Like the only king that we know at this point is LJ. You know, I'm not saying his whole name, but LJ. And then everybody was pretty much censoring his name in their confessionals. Wasn't him and his wife high school sweethearts? And she said this before they were married. And Marlo said, what music? Did she have music? Now, I don't know if you guys pay attention to what happened last week, but Drew also was on one of the Housewives Instagram page, and she showed a snippet of music that she's dropping out soon. I'm like, okay, we're gonna see what she got there. So Marlo said she met Gene Simmons from the Metallica group Kiss. I was like, you met Gene Simmons? Really? Oh wow. And Kenya said, I mean, Gene Simmons is about 30 years older. That put him in the 70s. So, yeah, that's right up Marlo's alley. You know, sleeping with older white men. Yes. And Kenya, she didn't say his name, but she did the sound effect. And it was of Prince. I'm like, oh, you met Prince. Drew said, I'm going to need Kenya's memoirs of fiction because that is a tall tale based off of the story that she told last episode about her having sex in a tavern. Now, I don't know why it's far-fetched for you to think that, Drew, because Kenya was a very, very popular actress of the 90s. Whether cameos, music videos, she was around a whole lot of famous people. She was in a music video with Jay-Z. She did a lot of red carpet events with celebrities. So to me, it's not far-fetched that she met Prince or once upon a time he hit on her. It's not that far-fetched to me. So moving on from that, I don't know why people don't want to believe Kenya. They just said, moving on. So where's Tyrone? When we gonna meet Tyrone? Sheree, she said, first of all, why y'all worried about my man? Don't worry about my man. Just worry about y'all. I said, well, Sheree, you didn't want to open up that door to say that Tyrone is out. So we want to know, where is Tyrone? We want to see him. So after that, everybody was getting ready to meet up for the play. And they have to be on time because the play isn't waiting for nobody. Now, everybody who was on the bus were wearing the vibrating panties. We got Sonya, Drew, Candy, and Sheree. Marlo and Kenya did not wear their panties. Now, Marlo was acting like she felt the buzz. But Candy said, girl, I'm pretty sure you used to faking it when you had to date old white man. So then, Sonya's vibrating panties were going off. And nobody knows how it's going off. Who has the remote? And nobody knows who has the remote, right? So Candy says technically when one remote is close to another radar or range of another vibrating panties, it can control the other one. Now when Sheree was, no, not Sheree, when Sonya was readjusting herself because apparently the vibrator has to be put in a certain pocket of the panties, she literally had to readjust herself right in the back seat. I said, Sonya, don't do that right here in front of the cameras and your husband right next to you. Girl, there will come another classier way for you to readjust yourself instead of you readjusting yourself right there on camera. I said, oh, wow, right there in front of everybody on camera. Kenya is not wearing hers because she said, I do not feel comfortable wearing vibrating panties around other people's men on this trip, okay? Now, I understand that people were not comfortable with this, and it's like carpe diem, seize the day, you know, but to find out that Candy, one of your remotes can control another girl's panties, that's not gonna be, accepting. To me, the only way it's gonna be accepting is if there's already a type of party that you on. If there's a party like that where I can control somebody else's panties and I want to see what's going on over there, then that's what I'm on. But It might start something. If somebody else's husband is pushing the remote and he thinks he's buzzing his wife, but he's buzzing another woman, that's not going to be a good thing. I'm just saying. And then they arrive at the park, but they are blocked by construction. And it might have taken them 15 minutes to get by, but they also had 7 minutes to walk. So they chose to walk. Marla wasn't about to walk. So she found a bike, put some quarters in, and rode it to the play. I said, okay, I hear you, Marlo. I want about to walk in these 6-inch heels. And Marlo's outfit was great. That red number, loved it. Loved it, loved it. So the play was really, really good. Everybody had great ideas and could relate for the story because The Thoughts of a Colored Man is about the different perspective of a black man. And Kenya said, the thoughts of a colored man show what a man could be and what a man should be. And Candy's play represented that, and I'm super proud of her for that. So after the play, they all go down to the suite and have like a pajama jam. Then we see King and Sheree and Marlo. They're chit-chatting it up. And they also just get some snacks, get something to drink. Marlo decides to drink from a ginger ale. And of course, burps very loudly. Everybody was like, ew, gross, nasty. And she said it's acid reflux. She's been through a specialist. She cannot eat spicy food. And she cannot drink alcohol. At the same time, asking for her assistant to pour her another glass of Moet. I said, okay, I see. So we're talking about what do's and don'ts you do in front of your man. Do you go to the bathroom in front of your man? Do you burp? Do you fart? Obviously things you don't do in the beginning yet until you become comfortable, okay? And then we're talking about Kenya going too hard on Ralph and wants to apologize to him. Then they go into a conversation about how Ralph and Drew have a weird relationship. I mean, he called her a liar last night, but Marlo said, I think Drew believes her lies. Then I made them question her drop it with Drew business. Because what does it mean? Because obviously, how can you have a workout program if you went and had surgery? And then, of course, she's had a whole lot of other things done. So Marla looked on the website and discovered you can lose 21 pounds in 21 days. And then when she clicked on it, it led to a block page that said this page cannot be found. And they were like, oh my God, it's giving scammer. I looked online, I clicked on the link, and the link said I can't find the page. So they want to know what's going on here. And then they reflect on how my Lay Archive website works, Kenya Moore Hair Care works, and then Sheree said when her She by Sheree website comes up and running, it will work. So everybody comes in the room. Kenya apologizes to Ralph for what I said, and if I offended you, I'm sorry. I was projecting, okay? And Ralph accepts her apology and said he's often misunderstood. Okay. The men leave because that's when Kenya opened up the floor for if anybody else has anything to say. So this is when Sonya decides to come up and say, I had something to say. And this is something I've been wanting to talk to Drew for the last couple of days. Drew was unaware that Sonya had something to say to her that was so urgent. And she had a conversation with Kenya about what's been happening. There are things that you have done that I'm not too sure about. And also, I felt like you wanted me to step in and defend you. But I didn't know if that's what you wanted me to do. I am like Drew. I am completely confused with what Sonya is trying to say because she said, let me give you a few examples so you can understand. I said, oh, okay. Because I'm confused. She said, okay, I'll make you understand. To me, Sonya's going on without saying what the issue is because she doesn't have an issue. But when she said, I don't want you to feel like I'm not showing up for you as a friend, but if I feel like you on bullshit, I'm not going to rock with you. Like what you did with Sheree. You put your finger in front of her face. Drew was like, okay, well, we resolved that. We had a moment and we're moving forward. I don't understand where it's coming from. And like Sonya was like, okay, well, Drew, I don't understand your faces. Well, her face is giving confusion, Sonya, and frankly, so am I. So to me, I was confused because the fact that Sonya wanted to open up the conversation with, I don't want you to feel like I wasn't being there for you or I did not defend you. I said, who came up to you and wanted to question you about whether or not you defended Drew? That's what I got lost at, Sonya. So why are you making it seem as if you were being questioned as to why you didn't defend her? I'm with Drew. Where was this coming from? And she said, I don't know why you never thought you could have told me because we have been talking, we've been hanging out, and we was just up in my room getting your makeup done. So you had plenty of opportunities to come and talk to me if this is how you really felt. She said it wasn't the right time because she was in Drew's room getting her makeup done, and she had about 85 people in her room. Like she was Beyonce, had an entourage. So that's why she felt like it wasn't the right time. But then she also said, since I knew it wasn't the right time, Drew felt it wasn't the right time. When did you feel like Drew felt it wasn't the right time? That's what I didn't understand. I didn't understand that at all. If you thought it wasn't the right time to say something, how can Drew pick up that you wanted to say something? Drew didn't pick up your energy that you wanted to say something. And it still doesn't make any sense to me. And then, of course, she wanted to have a private conversation with her, but then Kenya opened up the floor for them to have open conversation about what they've been going through and feeling. And that's when she said, okay, well, let me talk about it then. But, and then she just kept going on about how, Drew was getting into it with people. And she said, first of all, get into it with who? I got into it with Sheree, and that's been resolved. So what are you talking about? And it just made her seem as if, if you on bullshit, you on bullshit. I can't rock with you if you on bullshit. I try to be a friend to you because when I rock with you, I rock with you hard. But if you on bullshit, I can't rock with that. The look on Candy's face was like, Sonya's way of explaining how she feels, girl, you could have just wrote it down. So they go back and forth with what is the problem. Sonya wants to understand that she wants to be a better friend to her, but I will let you know that things I'm not comfortable with in order for me to be your friend. But I feel like it's disappointing for me for you to change your views of somebody else because one person had one indifference with her. And it still does not justify the fact you want to just distance yourself from being around Drew because of one thing that happened. And if you did feel like this, like Drew said, you could have talked to me when I picked you up from your car accident. That you called, Sonya. You called Drew about your accident. So I feel like you felt just enough of a friend to call another friend to help you out when you was in need of something. So the fact you want to now use this one time, this one incident you had with somebody to now want to say, I don't think I can fool with her. I think she on mess. I think she on bullshit. And I don't think I could be a friend with her. Now, I understand if you feel like there are some ways about a friend that you're not really rocking with. But to me, you're basing your entire reasoning on this one incident that had nothing to do with you. She didn't burn you. She didn't do anything to you. So why are you feeling this way? And I was with Drew. I don't know why she's mad because I ain't doing anything to her. So why is she mad at me? I never did nothing to Sonya. Drew did not do nothing to Sonya. So why is she mad at me for something I don't know why she's mad at me about? And I was kind of with Drew because I just felt like this is Sonya's way of not being connected with Drew based off of what she's seen now. She's seen Drew is not really being likable. Drew is not being someone that's cool to be around with. She wants to solidify herself with somebody else who has a much better connection or much better reputation or somebody else she can solidify herself to on like some popular shit and then want to distance herself from Drew that's not being as popular. But that's still a fucked up way to go about it. You want to make an issue by somebody else's issues. Not working for me, Sonya. Not working for me. It's not. So Marlo talks about how Kenya wanted to look into your Drop It With Drew website. And she said, why am I in this? It wasn't just me. It was you. It was Sheree. And Sheree said, yes, I'm the one that decided to go on the website and I couldn't join because we wanted to know what was the purpose of your program because you had liposurgery. You had liposurgery. So you also have a workout program. What does that mean? Does that solidify the fact you're one of those people who is a fraud? You portray yourself as someone who's a fitness junkie, but then you went under the knife and got a tummy tuck? So she said, no, that's not what it was. And then, of course, they couldn't join the site. Y'all tried to join? That's so nice. No, we tried to join and the site got crashed. We couldn't find the site. Oh, no. It went over her head. All she heard was they tried to join. And she said, oh, you know what happened? The site crashed. That's what happened. So basically, what is the purpose of your workout journey? What's the purpose of your workout program? And then how people have lost 100 pounds. But if you couldn't sign up on the website, how can they, get help if you can't sign? So she didn't pay attention to what the main problem was. We could not sign up on your program because the site crashed. The page was nowhere to be found. So she talks about she did get a mommy makeover. She did get surgery, but she was going through health issues. So basically, your program is drop it with Drew to maintain surgery, to maintain the body from surgery. No, then she went on and on about she has weight loss camps, there's challenges, there's meals, there's protein plans. Rambling, rambling, rambling. That still does not answer the question. What is the purpose of your workout program? We're not asking what comes with it. What is the purpose of it? And of course, Sonya is in her feelings still, because the reason why I'm asking, because I did not explain. I can't explain it. If I was to talk to Kenya about it, I still can't explain it because I'm still lost about it. Because everybody was like, "Is it a meal service plan? What is this for? Is this in Chicago? Is it in Florida? What the hell is it? What is the gist of your business?" So she said, "You had this business for about a year, and everybody has been helped. Everybody has been going on their workout journey. But why did you decide to get lipo?" So she said she had a hernia, and she was losing weight, but her stomach wasn't going down. And she thought, okay. Then she had other issues with her uterus. I forgot what she had. And then I'm with Candy. "Oh, it's my Achilles heel. Oh, I got all these issues. What's going on here? Oh my God." So basically, you went through all of that just to say, "I had this because I had to get this." Drew, just say, "The reason why, because I did this because I wanted surgery." Because you said you had a breast reduction and everything. So while you were going under the knife to get a breast reduction, to get your hernia repaired, also want to say, let's go ahead and give me a tuck. Go ahead, give me a tummy tuck. Might as well, right? So they just want to know, is it a legitimate business? That's all they wanted to know. And she can't even give a number as to how long they've been doing this business. Just a long time. How much money that I've made. And then the producers wanted to know, how much is it to cost to sign up with Drop It With Drew? She doesn't know the answer. Drew, this is bad business. If you are going to be promoting a business, you need to know the aspects of what your business is when being asked. You cannot depend on your business partner to be right next to you to explain your business. They're going to want to know from you, because this is your business. You are the face of it. And she said Drop It With You is her passion. And then, of course, when she was asked how much was it to cost, she calls up her business partner in the confessional and says, okay, they're asking me questions and you're on the business side, so they want to know from your side of what the business is. Couldn't even answer the questions because she needs the app. Went over Drew's head again about not realizing you are pretty much showcasing what bad business look like. It's giving Ponzi scheme. If you don't know what your business is about, if you don't know what your business can be explained, she said, look, we're having an app now. Girl, pay attention to the main question. How much is it to cost to sign up with Drop It With Drew? You need to be knowledgeable about your business. Everybody's not going to be able to be around to speak for you. Just like how you did not know your husband played for football. You didn't know that. That's crazy to me. Oh my goodness. They just want her to be honest and just pretty much, admit you had a mind makeover and now you want to do a fitness plan. Just say that. But then, of course, Sheree said, listen, my man calling me. Let me answer this phone call. And I'm all about health and fitness because all this body is real. And that is correct because Sheree has been on her health journey ever since the show. She does work out for real, for real. So they FaceTime Tyrone, want to know where he's at. They want to meet him. He said, yeah, I'll meet y'all in Atlanta coming soon. I'm on my way down there. Then Drew and Sonya have a small conversation. And she asks her, are we good? Sonya says she's not good. Don't know what's going to happen from there. So it ends with Sheree going down to Philly to meet up with Tyrone. And she is traveling towards him. It's hilarious the fact that she can travel within a 100-mile radius to see him, but he can't make the time to come and see her. Then, of course, she has to be back in Atlanta for the next night. And she's convinced to do a 2-hour drive to see him. So while going down there, they're reflecting on what she's been going through because she's been holding him down, and they've had conversations about how he is the love of her life. He loves seeing her smile. He loves her. They don't know what we got. Have you have any doubts about how this relationship could be if it's not what you want it to be? And she said, no, I had no doubts because this is my soulmate. I know what we share. So she arrives at Philly, sitting outside the restaurant in the cold, and she's calling him, texting him. He's not texting back. She arrived around 1:30. Then it led to be about over an hour late because she's wondering what's going on. Why isn't he answering? Because it's not like he had a problem meeting with me before. Like everything was going right, so why isn't he coming? Now, of course, she doesn't want to eat without him, so she's getting a drink, getting some appetizers, but she is cold and hungry. So it's been over an hour at that point. Her daughter, she wants to call her daughter and wants to know what's been going on and what does it mean if you calling somebody more than once and you get a busy signal? What that mean? I think it means you've been blocked. What? So she's still sitting there. Then the producers, they come out and say, Tyrone can't make it. We just got to call his attorneys, and they think that it's a violation of his parole. Are you kidding me? What are you talking about? So then Sheree said they've always gone out to eat. They've always hung out at restaurants. So why is this a problem now? She's confused. She's pissed. And then she calls Kenya because she's so mad. She's been waiting for Tyrone for over 2 hours. And he's not here. They say it's a parole violation. But I feel like I spoke to him that morning. I said I was coming down here. He did not think to text me or call me before and say, babe, I don't think you should come. I think there's a problem. Don't come this way. You let me drive or take a ride 2 hours to get here to be stood up by you, and you don't give me a heads up? So she doesn't want to look dumb, but she feels like I look dumb, I look crazy, I look stupid. She's crying because she felt like this was her soulmate. This was the man of her life, man of her dreams. But King said, you know what? Maybe this is a sign. You said you wanted to wait and see if this is the man for you. I think this is a sign. Trust your instincts. You know what I'm saying? This is just strike one. No, this is strike 50. All right? And she's crying because she felt like I don't want to waste my time. I don't like my time being wasted because we know how she held down Tyrone for years. She put a hold on her romantic life for him. And now she can't even see if there's a romantic future for them. But Kenya wanted to make sure she was okay. Do you want me to find you a flight? No, it's cool. I'm leaving tonight. I have something to do in Atlanta that's very important. And Kenya says, don't call him again. Make him come to you because he needs to fix this, okay? And I want you to do is smile, stretch your little fine ass across that airport, hold your head up high because you got this, okay? And she said, okay. I love the fact that Kenya reassures Sheree, like, girl, don't let this tear you down. You got this. You are a beautiful woman, okay? And it sucks, though. Does Sheree feel like this is the only man she could get is Prison Bae? Prison Bae, Sheree, you are a gorgeous woman. Any man will go over and beyond to make you happy. But you think you can only deserve someone who's been locked up? That's not good, Sheree. You are worth more than that. And the fact that he did this to you, and you don't even understand why, I felt bad for Sheree. I'm like, oh no. When she was crying, I said, oh, she's definitely hurt by this. But, y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next view, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.